Hello and welcome to another video here at Frontline Model Hobbies, and it's review time on a very hot and sweltery summer UK day. Anyway, so you might have already read from the title and you've seen the box art. We have Eduard's 148th B-17F Bloody Hundredth 1943. This has got to be one of the most anticipated boxing releases of 2024, and it's one that's definitely going to go into my stash. I've been waiting for one of these for quite some time. Now, this boxing, I just want to say a big thank you to Gary from Tiger Hobbies for supplying this one as a review sample, so thank you so much to him. If you can't get any of these kits from us, please go to Tiger Hobbies to get some from him if he's got any. But anyway, so this product is officially licensed by the 100th Bond Group Foundation as well, so I'm not sure what that entails, whether you get a cut the money or whatever, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, so if you don't already know, this kit is a reboxing. Now this kit is of the HK models B-17F, which you can go away and see many reviews, build reviews and whatever, and I think you'll find that the kit is fantastic. A couple areas might be slightly wrong, maybe the outer engines and this, that and the other, but to me it looks like a B-17, so it is a B-17. Now Eduard have given you some goodies in the box. So you've got a brassing set, you've got photo etch, you've got a mask set to do all the clear parts, and also you've got different nose sections as well in the box that Eduard have produced, so you can do the different schemes in the box basically. Also, you've got, from what I remember rightly, 11 marking options in the box as well. So yeah, you can do pretty much any of the, or quite a few of the 100th Bond Group aircraft. So just before we take a look inside the box, some of you may not know why the 100th Bond Group was called the Bloody 100th. And that was really because they gained their reputation from heavy losses. So in the period for this Bond Group, when their first mission was on the 25th of June 1943, and their last was the 20th of April 1945, 22 months. They did 8,630 missions, losing 732 airmen and 177 aircraft. So if you was a new recruit coming through the US American Air Force, whether you're a pilot, navigator, gunner, radar operator, whatever that may be, bomb aimer, and you got assigned to the 100 Bond Group in, say, 1944, you knew you were going to a deadly mission. You knew it was 50-50 for you at one point, because some missions they'll go out, or some months they'll go out and not lose anybody. Next month, they'd lose half the Bond Group. So that was really down to the fighter aircraft. The fighter aircraft with these couldn't operate in the early stages of when this Bond Group was operating and go all the way to the target and come all the way back. And that was the reason why these were getting shot down in droves. And I can only imagine what these crews must have felt like, getting shot out with 20-30mm rounds when you just sat behind plexiglass and if just maybe not even a millimeter, it's not even a millimeter, is it, of aluminium. So yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, let's have a look inside the box. Right, so I don't do this very often, but I'm going to talk about the box art, and it is very striking. You will not pass this up at all at a show if you saw the box art. Very 1940s looking with the writing, how it is. You've got the 4 B-17s all set out there. One downside is that you don't get sort of a print of this. It'd be very nice without the Eduard limited edition, the 48th, and just leave the bloody 100th 1943 on there. It would look spectacular. But anyway, so the concept of this kit, the boxing and the whole idea from it, came really from the Apple TV series, The Masters of the Air. So I haven't seen that. Gloss over that. But if you have seen it, then yeah, you can fully well imagine that the creative juices from Eduard started. But anyway, so let's have a look inside the box finally. Yeah. Right, so what you get inside the box is a clear sprue with the 2 front nose sections, as you can see there. So you've got times 2 different ones. You've got another clear section with 2 different noses. Also, you've got some clear parts there for everything else. You've got 1 times wing, which is both halves. Same for the other one. You've got a 1/2 of the fuselage without the nose sections and the top deck section at the front. You've got internal parts with the deck section there, as you can see, and all the internal parts and the horizontal stabilizers and everything else. You've got other parts in there and the engines. You've got some more parts in there, some fragile parts in there, so it's about 3 sprues. Also, you've got the props and the cowlings and everything. And by the looks of it, these are the Eduard parts, so we'll have a look at them in a bit. But you've got some nose sections in there. This is the Eduard brassing set, so they're all for the superchargers and everything. You have got a pin badge, so we'll have a look at that a bit closer in a minute. By the looks of it, you've got 2 instruction sheets, so you've got an instruction sheet and a Brucey bonus instruction sheet. Ooh. Also, you've got, if I can get it out without ruining it, so you've got a photo etch set, 2 halves there. You've got a comprehensive mask set, and also a massive decal sheet. By the looks of it, it's times 3. Oh. Anyway, so let's have a look in the instructions. Right, so pretty much, as you can see, you've got 2 instruction booklets, which is quite unusual. I've not really come across that very often. So we're going to look at one and then look at the other one, obviously. So bear with me 2 seconds and I'll drag you in. Right, as you can see, first one we'll look at is the main instruction manual. And straight over the page, you've got 4 pages here, which really comprises the history of the unit, the bloody 100th, the 100th bomb group, some of the crews, I'm guessing, and this, that and the other. So that'll be a nice read before you start the build. Straight over the page, as you can see, you've got your sprue call-outs and everything, so just make sure you've got everything in the box before you start. Now, you can pause that at any time. You've got your colour call-outs at the bottom, as you can see, which are in Aqueous and Mr. Colour. So they're in the Mr. Hobby range. And you've got the sprue call-outs on that one, so you can see pretty much some differences here and there, what you're going to be using and what you're not. And it's mainly the nose, really. Anyway, so straight over the page, as you can see, like any good aircraft kit, you are starting off with the cockpit. Now, with this, the Eduard boxing, and it being a limited edition Eduard boxing, you've got the photo etch set there, so you don't forget to put that together. So pretty much, as you can see through, putting all the Bombay and everything together, if you've got the HK models kit, it's going to be no difference, with the exception of certain aspects, like I said, the Eduard photo etch and this, that and the other. So just make sure you're getting the right options, as it's telling you there, of what parts you may need for whatever scheme you're going to do as you're going through, as you can see there. So you're putting all the interior parts together, and then on page 14 you're putting the internal section together. So you're putting the 2 halves, and then you're putting the rear gunner's position in, seat belts on, and this and the other. Make sure certain areas are asking you for plastic rod, so this is 1mm. Make sure you've got some 1mm plastic rod before you start. Putting the top deck for the pilot section and everything, and the radio compartment in. You put in the front nose sections together. Now, this is the difference between this one. So pretty much, this is the bonus set, and you've got the same call-outs and everything. You've got the same nose section. It's pretty much the same as the other one, but you've got different marking options, as you can see there, as you're going through all the way to the point where you get to the nose section. Now, the nose section here, you've got a different complete nose section here. So this will be the Eduard inclusion, I think. Okay, so we'll pause there and move that over. Then you move on to put in the horizontal stabilizers together, the top deck for the fuselage, and you're putting the ball turret together and the top turret together as well on this page, on these 2 pages, shall I say. I'd leave them off right till the end, to be honest with you, after you've painted. So you're putting all these sections, the same with the Bombay doors. You can have them close or open as well. You put in the gear base together. So this will be a mirror image from one wing to the other. So you've got all these sections. You've got the Eduard brassing that you're putting in there, and you're putting all the engines and the gear door, the landing gear together, and you're putting your HT leads onto your engines, and the same with the other side, and you're putting the HT leads on again, putting your wings on. I do believe that these are quite a strong fit, and when they're on, they're on. So just make sure that you don't test fit. I believe that's right. Now this is the other section which is different between the two booklets. So you've got the mast sheets, as you can see, you've got ×4, quite extensive. You've got them for the wheels and all the clear parts and all the nose sections, as you can see. So a hell of a lot, but if you know your part numbers, you shouldn't go far wrong. And as you can see, as I'm going through, that these will be different, and these are different nose sections. You've got inner and outer mast sheets as well, and again quite comprehensive, going through to different marking options at the end. And on the back, as you can see, you've got 2 identical sheets for the stencil positions on both sides. So both the instructions, as you can see from the instruction sheet and the bonus sheet, the only difference is where you're going to put the mast sheets and the different nose sections, and that's pretty much about it. And also actually the paint schemes. So yeah, they're the instructions. Wow, I've never in my days had that many decal sheets just in one box. It's normally this or that, but anyway, it is a big kit and you do get a lot of schemes. Now, looking at the decals themselves, this one caught my attention. Just hoping that's just a faded look rather than an issue with the printer. But either way, they do look a tiny bit faded. They don't look too bad on camera. The only reason why I think that may be is because of the carrier film. Eduard had to go and redesign the wheel, didn't they? But anyway, pretty much they do look within register and they don't look too bad, as you can see. Nicely thin, look really nice, not too much of an issue there. Same exceptions with this decal sheet. As you can see, you've got all the schemes on there, with the exception of that other one I've just shown you, and you've got a load more stencil data at the bottom. So you've got, if you like decaling, then yeah, you're going to love this one. And then the next one, there's one exception, is that you can't do more than 2 of the red bordered stars and bars. The reason being is because, well, they're not going to give you everything, are they, to do multiple schemes. So you will have to buy another sheet for this. But either way, they don't look too bad. Again, the blue looks a bit washed out, looks a bit faded, but again, I'm hoping that's the carrier film. They don't look too bad, and you've got instrument dials as well. Very nicely done. Right, last for the instructions, as you can see, you've got all your call outs and your schemes and everything. So you've got a blurb for each scheme that you want to do. You've got the orientation of the particular drawing that way, mainly because it's not as squished and you can see what you're doing. And also you've got a top and a bottom view showing you the colour call outs on each particular one, any difference particularly that you need to do, and the decals. So the first option, what you've actually got 2 versions, and this is just one version. This is just one, but 2 different versions of the same thing. So it's Piccadilly Lily. So you've got 2 there, so that's A and B. You've also got, which is the next one, which is Alice in Dallas, which you've only got one particular scheme on that one. The next one is Sunny 2, which again, you've got 2 different versions. So this will be option 3. So you've got 2 there. So you can either do an early September or a December 43 version, which is the bottom one. The next one is, I believe, Rosy Riveters. This is version F, so you can do that one. You can do Skipper, which again is a double option, so you can do an early or late July or late 43. So you can see the stars and bars are different on that particular scheme, and the bomb markings are different as well. Yeah. The next option is Horny 2 even, This is just one particular only scheme that you can do. There's no variation on this one. The next one is Hard Luck, which again you can do ×2, and this is just again one version, so you can see the difference in mainly the bond markings. So in the bonus sheet you've got more schemes, and this is what you won't get in the new boxing. So this one is Mugwump, so you only get one version of that one. The next one is, I believe, 9 Little Yanks and a Jerk. I particularly like that name. That is really nice. So the next one, which is version N, which is Miss M'Lovin. And the last one is Squawking Hawk. A very, very nice scheme. Nice bond markings and everything on that one. Okay, so next up, as you can see, you've got a quite comprehensive amount of seat belts and other bits and bobs there, so they look very, very nice. Will provide a nice amount of detail for the cockpit. And as you can see, you've got all your HT leads and everything else on the back for the exterior, and you've got all your sights for your 50s and everything else on there. So yeah, very nice. And also you've got die cut masks, which are all cut, as you can see there. So you've got 3 sheets, and again, quite comprehensive, not a problem with them or whatsoever. They should do the job if they fit. And finally, we're on to the actual kit parts. As you can see, 2 fuselage halves. They've got ejector pins all the way around, so no need for a fuselage. So yeah, the kit itself, I'm not going to show you every single part. The reason being is because it's been reviewed so many times before. So really what I'm going to do is show you the highlights and also show you the main parts, what Eduard have done. So anyway, so the fuselage itself, the panel lining, the rivet detail look very consistent all the way down to the bottom and to the top, and the plastic is very, very smooth. Not an issue with that whatsoever. No flash. That rivet detail and everything looks perfect. What impressed me the most was on the inside. Not even the tail section on the inside has got any ejector pin marks, neither down the fuselage, because they are arranged all the way around the outside. It's got stamped HK models there, just to prove that it is an HK models kit. So yeah, very, very nicely done. Will look amazing when it's painted and picked out with a wash. Next up is the wing sections, as you can see there. And if you believe it, it comes with 2 because it's a plane. So again, both exactly the same. So I'm going to put one to one side that's still bagged and show you the other one. Now again, like the fuselage, it is riveted to death, but the rivets are very consistent, very, very, very nicely done and very restrained. The panel lining is as well. That's the offending shape of the outer engine. I don't know if it's wrong or whatever, but it doesn't look too bad to me. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. And on same on the other side. Very, very nicely done. Yeah, I've got ejector pin marks where the flaps would sit. That's a bit of a downside. You can pick them out and it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But that is not so bad. And the actual fit of the parts without any glue is very, very good. Just hope these sections are fit. Okay, so this sprue is sprue D. And as you can see, it's very, very shiny. But you've got horizontal stabilizers, which is again, I've got very nice rivet and panel line detail. But on the inside of the bomb bays, and this is what I wanted to show you, and these are the doors, you've got ejector pin marks all through there, which, yeah, there's quite a lot in there, and it will take you quite a long time to get that out. So yeah, doesn't look too bad overall, with the exception of that. So next up, very quickly, you've got sprue E, as you can see. So you've got the cockpit floor, you've got the side parts with the oxygen bottles as well. But the only downside is they're moulded in. So whether you'd see that through the cockpit, I'm not quite sure. So it might give you some representation anyway. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad this side. On the other side, you've got ejector pin marks. So whether if you'll see them, I'm not quite sure. You've got ejector pin marks in there. Again, whether if you've seen them, I'm not quite sure. but it doesn't look too bad, this sprue. So moving on to sprue F, as you can see. So starting from the top, you've got your superchargers there and the exhaust system on the right. Now I've quickly put the ones on the right, which is the Eduard brass inset, and compared it to the superchargers on the left, the kit part. Now it's just night and day. There's no comparison there whatsoever. You would definitely put the resin ones on and you compare that to the rest of the exhaust system. Yeah, I'd definitely put the Eduard brass inset. Very, very nice inclusion, that. So moving down, you can see that you've got your main wheels there and the tyres. As a modeler, you'd like to replace these, but they don't look too bad out of the box. They have got flat spots. They're not too bulged. You probably want them a bit more bulged if you were having a full bomb load, but they don't look too bad straight out of the box. And then the flaps themselves, as you can see, they've got ejector pin marks, so there's quite a few, but they're not too deep, so you can probably get rid of them quite nicely and easily. The other thing is the landing gear slightly wrong, slightly long, just here where you, again, if you had a big bomb load, these would probably be the linkages squished down a bit too much and the rake is slightly wrong. So yeah, that's what I've seen so far. Alrighty then, so sprue G, as you can see, you've got all your engines and your bombs and a few other bits and bobs and all your 50 cal main bodies there. But one thing to note is the actual engines themselves. I would assume that resin ones are going to be a lot better, so I might go ahead and replace them. The cowling flaps are not too bad. I can't see really any ejector pin marks. There's no particular issues with them whatsoever. And also the bombs, the fins might be a bit too thick. The barrels themselves, they're all drilled out, which is very nice, but you might want to replace them as well. Master might do a set for them, so yeah. But other than that, it's not too bad. Oh yeah, and I nearly forgot. I'll show you the props. As you can see, they're all one piece, Hamilton standard, I believe, and they look very nice. Not an issue. You've got a seam line that will run all the way around. It'll just have a nice little bit of cleanup to do, and the cowlings don't look too bad either. Now, this is one of the largest sprues of the clear parts. As you can see, you've got two different types of nose section. You've got the top part of the nose section as well, and you've got two complete front nose sections there, right at the front, two front clear glazings. Now, I've not seen anywhere that's stamped Eduard. It's all stamped HK models on everything. So yeah, makes me think that HK models have done everything, but the sprues are spot on, and the clear parts, there's nothing wrong with them. There's no distortion whatsoever. They are very, very nicely done. Again, sprue V, as you can see, you've got a bit of a mark in there, as you can see, but nothing too major. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to see that on the actual kit. All the parts, again, there's no distortion really that I can see that's going to cause an issue. They are very, very nicely done. Yeah, I'm liking them. Again, another sprue where you've got the waist gunner positions. You've got different options again, so just make sure you know which one you're doing, and the same with the front section here. And this is the top radio compartment, observation port, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, again, virtually nearly everything is flat on there, so not an issue whatsoever. Another two clear nose sections, as you can see, two very, very different ones, no distortion whatsoever, as you can see going through on them two. And again, they're both stamped HK models, which again, I can't find anything with Eduard written on it, with the exception of the Decals and a few other bits and bobs, but they are very nice. These two sections here, you've got the waist gunners sections and you've got the rear gunners position glass, which you just need to mask it up and glue it into position. All the ejector pins and everything are clearly placed where it's not going to really cause much damage whatsoever. So very cleverly done. And again, no Eduard written on them. The last two segments to go through is this other nose section, which you've got multiple ejector pins on there. And you've also got HK models written on in the inside of there and the part number, which you probably might need to scribe off. So yeah, doesn't look too bad whatsoever. The only thing that I have found is this panel line here, where it sort of goes thick and then thin. I'm not quite sure, and it's on both parts as well. So I'm not quite sure what the reason for that is, but either way, they don't look too bad. You've got a bit of flash here, but won't take a lot to clean that up, and these parts will go together quite nicely. The last thing is the rear gunner's positions parts, which again, they've got the part numbers scribed on the inside, and you've got some ejector pin marks, which you'll probably need to get rid of. Not quite sure, you'll have to see when you build it. Anyway, that is the kit. Also in this kit, what you get is a bloody 100th. Also in this kit, what you get is a pin badge. It's the 100th bomb group, the bloody 100th pin badge. And you would only get it in this one. You won't get it in the subsequent one, which is going to be coming out whenever. So yeah, if you want one and you want this, you're going to have to get this boxing. But it does look very, very nice. And there we have it. That is the review for Eduard's brand new rebox of their 48th B-17F Bloody 100th 1943. Now, like I've always said before, you can take whatever you want from my reviews. You may particularly hate the kit, like it, can't see past the inaccuracies of the particular parts, or you may build it, look back and think, do you know what, I like that, it looks like a B-17, and I'll probably fall in the latter. With the exception of the engines, I would replace them with resin ones. But don't get me wrong, anything in the box, you can add some scratch building in there and add some more details. If you like scratch building, then you can go to town with this one. Also, you can't argue that this particular kit is the best one on the market. Compare that to the Revel Monogram one. This is singing and dancing, and so higher a level in detail compared to those other kits. And you'd have to throw a lot more detail sets to them to bring it even to the par of this one. So that is not even an argument there. The other argument is that if you don't like masking or anything, you do get a full comprehensive mask sheet, so that saves you some time. You may particularly not like photo etched, but it's there if you do like it. And also, you can't argue about the price. Now, some of you may be going, hang on a minute, it's more expensive than the HK one. Well, you've got to think about this one as more like a package deal. So the HK one, and I've got a crib sheet here for prices, and now these are a ballpark price with the exception of the retail prices of the kits themselves. So the HK one is £119.99, this is £144.99. Shop around, you can probably get them cheaper somewhere else. Now, if you keep those prices in your head, if you've got the HK one or you want to buy one and not buy this one thinking you can do it cheaper, well, with all the detail sets, it comes to, ballpark figure, mind you, you can find them cheaper, more expensive or wherever. It's around about £43.27 with what I found of what I would buy. Add that to the price of the HK kit, if I was buying full retail, then you're talking 163, 164 quid-ish. That's 20 quid more than that. Now, the prices, this will drop by 20 quid. You can find them cheaper. Same with the HK model one. So it will still be £20 more expensive than this boxing. And this is the boxing that I'd go for every time of the week. So yeah, that's what I would do. So you can take whatever you want from this review. Now I'm going to end with a quotation, and I don't normally do this, but in the circumstances for the 100th, I will do. And I'm going to quote a Major John Bennett of the 100th Bomb Group, and he says, "What the 100th lacks in luck, it makes up for in courage. The men of the century of fighting hearts. And on that note, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again on the next video. Cheerio.